On this episode of Explore, we're visiting the Virginia Creeper Trail in Washington County, Virginia. Just east of Bristol and Abingdon is the little town of Damascus. Damascus has always been a crossroad of roads and trails, so it is no surprise that the railroad from Abingdon into the Grayson Highlands would go through Damascus. That railroad would venture beyond Damascus to Whitetop, the highest standard gauge rail station serviced by a regularly scheduled train to east of the Rockies. It would then meander down past the North Carolina line, opening a delivery system to make it possible to remove thousands of acres of virgin hardwoods from the mountains. The lumber boom only lasted about 25 years, but it brought reliable transportation to the area. It also brought small industries to the little towns up along its route. The route became known as the Virginia Creeper, not only for the flower that grows along its route, but also because of the slow speeds the early locomotives required to navigate the steep and twisting right-of-way. The railroad thrived well into the 1950s, but paved roads and the expensive repairs after periodic flooding began to make the route more expensive to operate. In 1975, Norfolk and Western filed a request with the Interstate Commerce Commission to discontinue service on the line, and in 1977, the last train pulled up the twisting grade. That same year, the rails were removed. The right-of-way from the North Carolina line to the city of Damascus was acquired by the U.S. Forest Service to be made into a recreational trail. The section between Damascus and Abingdon was acquired by the two towns, and they made that section into the second stage of the trail. It's not surprising that the route from Whitetop to Damascus would be considered a recreational trail. It travels through some of the most beautiful scenery on earth and crosses trestles like this one over Green Cove Creek. Damascus has always been known as a hiker-friendly place because the Appalachian Trail goes right through the middle of the town.
The AT crosses our parking lot, so we have the Creeper Trail and the Appalachian Trail and the Transamerica Trail all crossed right here in front of our store. Damascus has changed a lot over the past 20 years. I would say a lot of it's due to the Creeper Trail. It used to be an industry town, a lot of timber cutting, but they all left. The town kind of slowed down, and now it's picked up tremendously with the tourist business. A lot of bike rental places. There's 7 in town. We own 2 locations.
And business is booming.
We have 12 vans that we run, most of them full-size vans, and we'll run anywhere from 2 to 6 an hour between 9 and 3 o'clock. A lot of people are coming to town, more and more every year. The word's getting out. A lot of people from the Knoxville and a ton of people from the Charlotte, Winston-Salem areas are frequenting the area. Yeah, a lot of North Carolina folks.
We only take 2 people to produce these episodes of Explore, and we have both brought our bikes, but neither of us ride a lot, and we were looking at 17 miles through the mountains of Southwest Virginia.
A lot of people are worried that they can't do the trail because they haven't ridden a bike in 20 or 30 years, and I tell them it's like riding a bicycle, as they say. It's you just go up to the top, let gravity take care of the work, and coast back down. And it's you couldn't imagine an easier, more relaxed ride on a bicycle through the woods, through the mountains.
Okay, we're going to do this. We have a lot of gear, so we decided to add this to the rental. It's a baby carrier. We had our own bikes, but this attached to my bicycle pretty easily, and since about 99% of the Creeper Trail is downhill, it wasn't hard to pull. This thing proved its worth, and would be great for taking a cooler or picnic supplies or just about anything that would be too large to put in a backpack. Or you could put a baby in there. But first, we had to get up the mountain.
Got lots of turns, got a little dips in the road, and these trailers and these vans tend to move with every single one of them. So we strap down as many things as we can to ensure that everything's going to stay put till we get up there.
This is Laura Spence. She's going to be driving us to Whitetop Station.
The first 3 miles is your steepest, but beyond that, it's more of a slope. That's sort of how I define it anyway.
We're coming down 1,700 feet in 17 miles, so it's about 100 feet a mile.
Yeah.
Which is...
But what happens is, of course, since the train did run this line, you have your plateaus here and there. So you'll drop down a little bit, then flatten out. Drop down a little bit more, and then flatten out.
She has seen a lot driving this route, but there's one problem that she says is hard to overcome.
We have had people come all the way up here, spend time getting fitted on a bicycle down in the shop, make this ride all the way up this mountain, be chit-chatting with their friends that they came with, and then we start unloading the bicycles, get them all off of the trailer, and then make the statement, I don't know how to ride a bike. Don't know how to ride a bike, but I just signed up for a 17-mile ride down a mountain trail because my friends were coming.
When we got to Whitetop Station, the first thing I noticed was the number of people that were saddling up for the 17-mile ride. And these weren't just local folks.
Washington, Seattle.
Yeah, we're from Seattle, Washington.
Yay.
And you ended up in Damascus, Virginia somehow.
We did. We've got family in Tennessee, in the Knoxville area. And we are just checking out the really cool places and the outdoors here. It's beautiful country.
Yeah.
We actually have a little cabin over here in Creston, North Carolina. We do this about every year, ever since she was just a puppy.
Yeah, she was 9 months old first time she's came down. Because all the kids enjoy it so much.
Nature.
It's a great family.
Waterfall.
Yes.
Swimming,
I love it
hiking,
so much.
biking.
The beauty of it all.
It's all
See the
one
animals.
package.
Yeah.
Like a black bear.
Seen a bear water.
We have been wanting to go on a bike ride on the Virginia Creeper Trail for maybe a year and a half or so.
More like 5 years.
We've been talking about going for a long time, and it's a beautiful Thursday, and we thought, why not go today?
Why would somebody that lives in Boone, North Carolina want to drive to Southwest Virginia to ride a bicycle?
Boone is up and down and up and down and up, but here, I hear you just go down. So that is enormously appealing. So.
There's not a lot of places that you can ride without cars in Boone. So there's the Blue Ridge Parkway, but there's definitely, Boone is not quite as biker friendly, I would say, as some places.
Yeah, I used to live in Philadelphia, and we had a long trail that you could, you're not sharing the road with cars, and I missed that. So part of the reason I wanted to come here was because I wanted that experience of being able to kind of get away from the road and just be able to ride with that and just enjoy the bike ride.
The trail is nice. It's the width of a standard gauge railroad. It's mostly gravel, and it is two-way, even though the vast majority of the traffic is headed downhill.
Passing on your left here.
Basic traffic etiquette of just letting a person know when you want to go around them is required, along with wearing a helmet. Probably a good idea. So this is Green Cove Station. It was built about 1914 by the Virginia-Carolina Railroad. It also served as a post office and a telegraph station and a meeting room for the community. It's been memorialized by the famous photographer O. Winston Leake in his world-famous photo, Maud Bows to the Virginia Creeper. There are a number of railroad trestles that span the gaps across the various streams and rivers that are structural works of art. But a person soon notices that some of the trestles are older than others because these picturesque streams that run along the trail often became raging torrents, washing some of the trestles away during the life of the Virginia Creeper Railroad. And those trestles had to be replaced. This was not an inexpensive rail line. Well, we're on our way down the mountain. It really is some rough and tumble country. You cross a lot of streams and crevasses, and there are many trestles. We're at trestle number 40. Number 40 is not the biggest by far, but it certainly illustrates that this was a railroad crossing and not just a bicycle crossing. To ride from White Top Station to Damascus takes the average rider 2 to 2.5 hours, and it's incredibly relaxing. These are mountain valleys and riverbeds so beautiful that a person almost feels guilty for not stopping and taking pictures of everything. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Explorer at the Virginia Creeper Trail. So grab the dogs, get the kids, get out and enjoy nature in this beautiful area that we call home.